Y'all probably heard his name here and there recently in the news, especially because he's become a United States citizen. And you've also more likely probably heard about him calling out the Chinese government for their treatment of the Uyghur people and the Tibetan people. And go and get LeBron James specifically for his connection to Nike and Nike's connection to China. Then honestly, he's just clout chasing for causes at this point. And I want to talk about this issue because it's a little bit complex, if you ask me, right? On a lot of levels, like what Enes Kanter is fighting for is a legitimate cause, right? And authoritarian / repressive governments is something that he has a unique connection to, being from Turkey. That he has voiced on multiple occasions that he believes that the Turkish government is trying to kill him. They have put out an international warrant for his arrest, right? And his criticism of LeBron James in a vacuum is also fair. Even though it's quite old at this point, he's bringing up a 2-year-old comment that LeBron James made on some relatively clout chasing stuff about Daryl Morey working for the Houston Rockets, saying that he was not informed on the issue of China when he made a tweet that was relatively controversial that we won't get into. Now, the more recent and more important things about this is he's actually been recently going on Fox News and other conservative networks and playing puppet boy for a lot of problematic people, saying problematic things himself. And in this effort, it's just like he wants to get eyes on the issues that he thinks are important. And we have talked about those issues and why they may be important. So on Monday this week, he went on Tucker Carlson. And this is where a lot of the tea actually gets spilt, right? He goes on Tucker Carlson and he is doing an interview with Tucker Carlson. And of course, he tells his stories about the repressive government he's come from. He tells people about why he decided to change his last name. Yes, Enes Kanter Freedom now is on the back of the jersey. He is now Mr. Freedom, aka the Freedom Hammer, as he continues to dunk on people for his social causes. But what really hit me here was Tucker kind of gave him a prompt. And he was just like, how do you feel about your teammates? Do you think they're as grateful to be Americans as you? And this is where it got me fucked up. Because if y'all know anything about Tucker Carlson, he loves to go with like LeBron James. It's on the very, very right of the spectrum, right? And you know what that sometimes comes with. And Enes Kanter took the bait and went for it. He says this: people should really feel blessed to be in America. They love to criticize it, but when you live in a country like Turkey or China, you appreciate the freedoms you have here. I feel like they should keep their mouth shut and stop criticizing the greatest nation in the world, and they should focus on their freedoms and their human rights and democracy. Look, this got on my nerves for several reasons. Now, one, and it's Cantor. I know you're new to this whole democracy thing and America, but after a decade of being in America, you got to understand that the very freedom of speech you are praising on national TV is the exact same reason why people should criticize the government when the government does wrong. But for some reason, like this dude gets up here in arms about the Tibetan people, how they're repressed, how this is an ethical issue, and how they cannot speak out against their government's wrongdoings, then told people in the United States to shut up about their government's wrongdoings. Sway, how do you explain this? Now, look, the second thing that really bothered me here was that when Tucker Carlson asked about his teammates, he really didn't have to say anything about his teammates. He really decided to parrot the shut up and dribble mentality, and that was on purpose. Like, that is not a coincidence on national TV. And it's weird because the Enes Kanter tried to say, like, look, I know there's politics involved, and I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. I don't do politics. I only do human rights. Like, you have picked who you want to sit across from the message that you want to parrot, and then the way that you have parroted it, right? Enes Kanter should not be the opposite of LeBron James in this situation. People criticize LeBron James because he only decided to focus at that moment on the trials and tribulations of the people in the United States that he had a connection to personally, Black people. Enes Kanter is focusing on the external issues internationally and wants to miss the entire point of what's going on domestically at home. You just got here, bruh. Your name is Enes Kanter Freedom, and you're celebrating the freedom of the United States, but yet you've missed the entire purpose of that freedom. Now, look, I don't expect any of these things to change for Enes Kanter. What he is clearly doing is clout chasing for eyes towards a cause. So, like, Enes Kanter, is he onto something, right? And is he just going about the wrong way? I am interested to see how much longer the freedom hammer can ring. And that was your tee off. Thanks for stopping by. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like, leave a subscribe so you don't miss any of our content.